Good evening, everyone. Today, I would like to give a thank you to all that took the time out to listen to my speech as of this evening. I will be going over the importance of recycling. So be sure to feel free to ask any questions throughout the speech. All right, I would like to ask any of the audience members, how well aware are you when it comes to recycling? Are you aware of the impact? Do you know what the proper recycling methods are? Um, how many regularly use the recycling method or any type of recycling at home?
I use it at work.
At work?
At work.
I heard someone said at work. Okay, that's understood. And
And
how about you, London?
I use it at school.
At school? Okay. Well, all right, let's go over a few things here. All right, you guys can mute it. All right, so it's only 9% of the world's plastic waste is recycled. 9%. So the other 91% of plastic waste goes into the landfills, as far as like the oceans, um, far as like the water that is generated, the system to filter. Sometimes it prevents the water to filter properly due to the debris that's being collected within our ocean. This is a significant problem that cannot be ignored any longer. Recycling is more than just a buzzword. We need to utilize it more often. Um, you know, if we practice it, other generations to come will also utilize the recycling method. So today or this evening, I would like to discuss the waste problems and the benefits of recycling. By the end of this presentation, I will convince you how to recycle and to want to recycle more and more often within not only just your work environment, your school environment, but at home as well. Yikes. All right. The problem of waste. Waste is produced and is increasing a leading overflowing within the landfills in the environment. So the more that people don't actually recycle, it causes major issues. As I once said before, the materials are like such as plastics, aluminums, glass, and any other debris that you can possibly think of. Incineration is another method, which is the method of waste disposal, which releases the harmful toxins in the air and contributes to air pollution. So when we don't recycle, most of the debris that land in different landfills causes a chemical reaction, which is not balanced within the oxygen levels, causes it to give off chemical reactions, which is like, you have allergies. It's not due to just like the dandelions that you would typically see. So not recycling and causing more and majorities of waste basically aid towards that air pollution. As of right now, you can see that based off of last year's 2022, the statistical data basically proved that 9%, as I once said before, plastic is most under the cycled material. So out of all the materials, far as like plastics, aluminums, and glasses, plastic is like at a large number and a large percentage of waste being surrounded in surrounding areas throughout the world.
Oh wow, I never knew that.
Less of the recycling rates have dropped for those that's like you can see in a targeted area that's in the green within the map in the center. they're good with their percentages as far as the recycling. But we have like a tremendous case of non-recycled waste that's been servicing in certain parts of the US, which is Alaska at 6%, Louisiana at 4%, and also Tennessee being at 7%. And also the West Virginia area is like a very small percentage based from the landscaping of Tennessee being a larger landfill. They meet around the same percentage, 7%, but typically in like the larger areas where the ocean is surrounding, that's where you'll find most of the high cases. In every hour in the US, 2.5 million plastic bottles are thrown away. That's 695 bottles. It takes 500 years to forever for them to decompose in a landfill. So 500 years, can you think about it? 500 years of debris and waste just sitting there for it to decompose. So throughout the slides, I'll give you some tips on how you can better aid towards your recycling if you want to get into the method of decomposing certain items within a home, like foods, perishables, and so forth. Let's go over some fun facts. Recycling 1 ton of paper can save up to 17 trees and 7,000 gallons of water. As well as the energy being saved, recycling 1 glass bottle can power a computer for 30 minutes. Recycling 1 plastic bottle can save enough energy to power a 60-watt light bulb for 6 hours. The amount of energy saved by recycling 1 aluminum can is enough to run a TV for 3 hours. And that's pretty terrific. But in the United States, we throw away 25 billion styrofoam cups every year. Recycling 1 ton of plastic can save up to 2,000 pounds of oil. 1 ton. In 2020, Americans recycled 25.8 tons of material, which prevented the release of approximately 186 million metric tons of carbon dioxide.
Wow, that's amazing how you can save energy.
Yes, and as we move forward, I'll give you more evidence that, basically give you more details on how you can get started and tips on how you can start preventing this major issue that's happening around our world. Benefits of recycling. Recycling reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills and incinerators, reducing environmental damage. Recycling conserves natural resources and reduces the need for virgin materials such as trees for paper or ores for metals. Recycling can create new jobs in industries such as recycling, collection, and processing. So with that being said, if the more we recycle, the more that we can help prevent and play a big major role in preventing this issue that's happening within our world today. I have 7 key points on the reason why we should consider recycling. Hopefully this should convince you guys. Reducing carbon emissions. Did you know that recycling helps reduce carbon emissions, otherwise known greenhouse gases? Whatever your stance is on the issue of global warming, most people agree that all need to do a part in the lesson to impact the pollution of carbon emissions. Another point is lessen the burden of landfills. Our landfills are overflowing at an alarming rate and are quickly running out of space. cities that are near the ocean have been dumping trash into the landfills for decades, but our oceans can no longer support the dangerous practice. As much as 60 to 75% of garbage that is in our county's landfills could actually be recycled. What that means is that if everyone took the time to recycle, we will need 60 to 75% less land space for garbage in the future. And also, number 3, improve groundwater quality. Did you know that the garbage that is in landfills can affect the local groundwater? Anyone knew that?
No.
Most landfills do not treat the garbage in any way. They just throw it into one big hole. So as you see your local dumpster guy out there collecting trash early Monday morning throughout the week, that garbage gets picked up throughout the neighborhoods and taken into one landfill, one single hole. They just dump everything into one hole. And as we read on the previous slide, I went over, to decompose, it takes up to 500 years. So can you just imagine a large assortment of different waste materials?
No.
Much of the trash is thrown in the landfills and it's not biodegradable or environmentally friendly. And the contaminants that are found in the material can get into your water supply. So when this happens, when it rains or the runoff of water from landfill makes its way into the ponds, rivers, lakes, and streams, it's not only damages our fragile ecosystems, but it makes the fresh water supply dangerous to drink or use. So when it comes to showering or whatever, it can cause us to, become very ill due to the contaminants. All right, I would like to go over the steps to reduce waste. Simple steps to reduce waste would be reducing waste by purchasing items with minimum packaging or choosing reusable containers instead of disposable ones. So, instead of you getting packages sent from Amazon that contains numerous amounts of plastics, hey, maybe possibly go out to the store, your nearby neighborhood store, and go grab that item that you need to prevent any unnecessary packaging. But if you have to, just, try to do some type of method within your home to recycle the materials. Recycling materials such as paper, glass, and plastic through your local recycling programs that's out there. Compost food scraps and yard waste, which can reduce the amount of organic waste sent to landfills. In other terms, that mean basically like your food items, instead of you throwing like in the kitchen, when you rid of any leftover foods on your plate, you'll empty it into one garbage. Instead of you emptying into one garbage, you can maybe have like a pot or something, or like a little bin where you put all your food items, like your veggies. So, whatever, you can mix it, it's fine. And typically what you do with that, you would place it on top of, like, you'll dig a hole within your garden or in your grass, and you'll pour it inside the dirt and cover it back up. The worms within, the earthworms, will eat and feed off of it. When they feed off of it, then, it will go through the cycle of forming a fertilizer soil. That soil is used to, bring life to vegetables, your garden with flowers, and so forth. Use energy efficient appliances and light bulbs to reduce energy consumption and save money. Also, donate or sell unwanted items instead of throwing them away to reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. So if you have any like clothes, toys, or anything that's not needed within your household, feel free to always donate rather than you just, throwing it out into your local dumpster. Right here, I have a fun video to demonstrate the visual of what happens when you when it's not recycled, but to also give you the importance behind recycling.
Meet Grammarly Go, your go-to solution for getting quality work done quickly.
Have you seen the new dustbins that have been placed in the park? There are three very big ones. One is labeled glass, the second paper, and the third plastic. No, I haven't seen them. What are they for? My mom bought me some biscuits, and when I went to throw the packet away, I found these dustbins. I wonder if this has something to do with what we saw in
What's your homework for today?
We had to observe the type of rubbish we throw away at home.
And what have you found out?
At home, we throw away food leftovers, useless paper, plastic bottles, and some glass items.
Very well. Then, could anybody tell me what do we mean by rubbish?
Everything that is useless and that we want to take out of our homes.
Of course. Now, imagine that you can take the rubbish out of your homes. What could you do to prevent rubbish from piling up and decomposing?
My mom's got two dustbins. She puts what's left from salads, eggshells, and the like in one of them. And when there's enough rubbish in it, she buries all that in a flower pot where she's got worms.
Why does she do so?
Because worms feed on this waste, and then they turn it into a type of soil, which is very rich for the plants.
Very well. The process you're telling us is called recycling, which means turning something useless into something somehow useful again. Rubbish is a huge problem in our cities. If we stop to think, millions of families live in a city, and so the amount of daily waste is huge and starts to pile up in different places. That's why it's so important to reuse part of such waste. By doing so, the amount of rubbish will be reduced. For example, plastic or glass items can be melted again and used to produce new items. Paper may be collected, and after undergoing a certain process, more paper may be produced.
Then, if all of us recycled our waste, we'd be contributing to taking care of our environment.
That's right.
I like recycling, and I'm really keen on it. And so, what can I do then? You can separate the rubbish before throwing it away, because it's not the same to recycle food as to recycle plastic or glass, like the dustbins in the park. Now I understand why one was labeled glass, the other plastic, and the third one paper. That's the first step in recycling, to classify the waste. Now I remember that each of those dustbins had a symbol. What symbol? 3 arrows making a circle. It's very clear. That's the recycling symbol. Yes, we use it and reuse it, like a cycle. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and answer the questions.
Okay, I hope you guys found that very resourceful. It was a very fun video, you know, it was animated. With that video, it was very resourceful to demonstrate, give you a visual of what it's like to recycle, how to recycle, and the importance of recycling, because it's basically to support your living life system. The way that you breathe and within the air, from your daily living of what you eat. Because if you're not recycling, it can later on, you know, become a major effect with the contaminants of the products that you use, and also become a hindrance when it comes to just your daily lifestyle in general. I would like to give credit to the United Nations environmental programs, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, Greenpeace, Environmental Protection Agency, World Wildlife Fund, and also the Environmental Protection agency. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And as you can see, that is the symbol, the national symbol for recycling. Do any of you have any questions?
Does climate change have anything to do with the recycling?
Yes. Climate change plays a major role. I'm gonna say it's like a balance. Climate change plays a major role within cycling, but also recycling. If you don't recycle, it affects climate change. Meaning, like, say if instead of people, actually utilizing the methods of recycling and they just, throwing into landfills, so forth. A lot of that debris and garbage and waste is being carried away into our water systems, our lakes, our lands, our ponds, and so forth. And like those filters that they have within our ocean and our lakes are getting clogged with the waste, debris of the damaged seaweed, so forth, clogs it up, and it's not being able to generate and complete that, that persistence of the filter. And if that's happening, it's nothing to do about it, then what happens with the water? The water is affected, the lands are affected. So climate change is used to a cycle of a natural process of a cycle. But when it's prohibited, then yes, it will affect climate change. You have something, Theo? Any questions?
No question.
Okay. Well, this typically sums up the importance of recycling. Hopefully, you guys found this very resourceful and convincing to recycle. Just to prevent any future health issues, to inspire other generations to recycle, and to also just make the world a better place to live in. Thank you.
Nice job.
Amazing.
Great.
Okay, so I stopped recording. And I think they're gonna let me see it. So let me end it.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Y'all.
Bye. Bye.